What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome to another video. I want to wish everyone a happy new year, and let's get straight into things. So we've clearly had a very bullish day today. We traded up into the PD arrays that I marked out on my Sunday weekly review. However, it looks like we are going to be closing above this fair value gap, so that means my bias now has changed to anticipating a run up into this fair value gap up here. So let's just break down price action a bit more. We came down into this monthly consequent encroachment, and then obviously there was no trading on Monday as it was a holiday, and then Tuesday we have this clear rush up. So price is clearly in a rush to get to a certain level. Overall, I am expecting a bearish month, so seeing this kind of price action in the first week isn't surprising, as it's likely we are going to try and create the high of the month. But obviously we just have to keep an eye on things. We are still early, very early in the year, so very early in the month, so price action is still going to be a little bit fragmented, and typical of like the December price action. But anyway, you can see we traded through this daily fair value gap, and you'll see I've marked out the midpoint, and the reason for that is because now that we've closed above it, if we are going to continue higher into these relative equal highs above here, I want to see this provide support. So I'm going to say that again. We have an inversion fair value gap here, delivered on the downside, closed on the upside. So now I want to see this inversion fair value gap acts as a bullish fair value gap. So I'm going to write inversion FVG. So in the new day, if we do manage to trade back down into this range, I'd be looking for buys so that we can use that as a springboard to push up into the buy side liquidity and this nice volume imbalance we have over here. Let me just mark this out. I'm going to make this yellow. And then once we do reach up into this range, I'd then I put an eye here because I'm watching this level here. And now this level is a monthly level, and I'll show you on the monthly. So if I'm expecting a bearish month, and we are expecting the high of the month to get made early on, I want to see this wick 50% get respected. So I've marked out that 50% level of this wick. That's another monthly consequent encroachment. Put that on the right. And I anticipate us to respect that so long as we're going to go lower. If we trade through it, so be it, and then I'd be looking for this fair value gap. But until then, we can only wait to see how we treat this wick here. So let's go back down to the daily. You'll also see that I've got a weekly equilibrium marked out, and that's because from this range, this swing high here, right down to this swing low, I've marked out the midpoint because I wanted to see how price treated it. In my Sunday review, I was saying that I did want to see this fair value gap get respected so that we can move lower. However, it does seem like price is clearly in a rush to get up to these highs, so it's likely now that this 50% level will get traded through. As we're trading through it, I'll be watching it again to see, okay, do we find support? If we find support, then we can start looking for this volume imbalance to get traded into. So it's very, if this happens, then I expect this. So and as ICT was saying, it's an algorithm, so there's variables of if, then, and I believe. So let's drop down to the 4 hour just to get a better look. You can see we traded up through Wednesday's highs, Thursday's highs. All of these highs have been traded through beautifully, and now you can see all these relative equal highs that are likely going to get attacked this week. Again, that inversion fair value gap on the daily, if we pull back down into this range, I'll be wanting to look for buys on dollar and obviously sells in the pairs for us to again springboard and run up into that buy side liquidity that's sitting above there. We'll drop down to the 1 hour very quickly. You'll see how we're just sidestepping up, and we do still have the whole Asia session to go. So I don't want to say too much, but it'll be nice to see the low of the day get made in London and then see if we can expand higher. It's perfectly possible we do run up during London and then, consolidate or have a nice slow retracement during New York. But overall, I want to see this buy side liquidity get tagged, and I want to see a reaction at this volume imbalance up here. So let's now go to GBP USD. We'll start on the daily as well. We'll start on the weekly actually. You can see how much of a range we've already created, running out Monday and oh, that's weird. Oh, yeah. What? Yeah, weekly. Right. Sorry. We've run out of these two lows, 2 weeks lows. And you can see we're starting to dig now into this bullish order block that we have here. So, in all honesty, let's go to the daily, and let's have a look if we can find any kind of PD arrays that we want to be traded down into. Here we have a nice bullish order block that we may want to see a reaction off of, so we can draw that out like so. That's daily bullish order block, and then we can drop down to the 4 hour to get a better look at that. So we have that daily bullish order block, and then we also have this 4 hour bullish order block residing here, and these are all levels that price may want to draw to. Similar to dollar, I'm expecting some kind of retracement higher before we start to attack these lows. Now obviously we have this nice big fair value gap here that I want to see get filled. This is an imbalance, so it'd be nice to see if price can trade down into the order block and then get a nice reaction off of that. This last swing low, I believe this is a breaker, high, low, higher high. This I want to see act as like an inversion block, so we can draw this out and I'll show you what I mean. And then I want to see this now, because this was a bullish order block on the upside, so I want to see this act as a bearish order block to help propel price lower, because we're delivering on the downside. So let's now draw the midpoint of that. We'll change the color because it's not the prettiest, is it? And then we can drop down to the 15 minute and we can get a better look. So you can see our price is just kind of consolidating in here. Again, we haven't started the new day yet, but it'll be nice to see if we can trade above, take out some kind of stops for the manipulation like a Judah swing, and then attack that daily order block and dig deeper into that 4 hour order block. So I'm going to leave that on my screen for now, but that's what I'm anticipating on pound. But you can see again all this consolidation, it shows a likely continuation to the downside. Let's go down to euro just to finish off. Euro as well has taken out a lot of lows. Now we haven't actually closed below these lows yet, but we can likely anticipate these to get closed in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out this bullish order block, because again, similarly, I want to see this bullish order block act as resistance. I want to see this allow price to propel lower and potentially run towards this fair value gap that we have over here. Obviously it depends how weak euro is, but yeah, let's go down to the 1 hour and have a look at price action. You can see our price, you know, we reached that midpoint of that bullish order block, and look what happens. We price starts to defend these levels, so I want to now see these bearish order blocks continue to get respected. But overall, I want to see this range propel price in the new day. So long as we trade above the midnight candle, we could be looking for sells for a run down into sell stops below here, and potentially running down into that fair value gap. But yeah, it's been an interesting day overall. Very bearish. Price is clearly in a rush to get somewhere, and that's one thing we need to recognize. It's in a rush to get somewhere and it wants to get there quick, and I can understand that considering we didn't have any trading on the Monday. And again, new year, it's going to want to they're going to want to entice the market makers are going to want to put excitement into the markets and get people thinking it's going one way or one direction. Again, we can look at the range and we can start to frame where we are. We're just about to hit that 50% level off the range. That's here. We have optimal trade entry for a ICT trading strategy. Optimal trade entry lines up perfectly with that fair value gap on the daily. So all of these are adding to confluence as to why I want to see price draw down into that fair value gap. 50% level, I expect expansion through it. Nice little retracement, and then we can dig deeper. But obviously we'll wait and see. So hope this has been insightful. Hope you guys learned something. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I do reply to all my comments, and I'll make sure to catch you tomorrow. Peace.